what boundaries did you learn the hard way when it comes to opening a shop or running a shop, having employees? Like, give me the rundown.
I think the biggest boundaries that I learned from the last one to this one was obviously I was earning my respect in the industry in the last one. So I didn't have a lot of power, right? I was basically an owner, but because I wasn't an artist, I was not allowed to really reprimand the employees or talk to the artists, reprimand the artists or do any of that stuff. So I would just watch, right? And when things did go down, I was more of the coddler. I was the mama bear. I mean, I got my name from this industry. It was given to me because that's what I did. I talked to people and I calmed people down and I was the mom, you know. Mm-hmm. So I've learned now, obviously, in this instance with this one, I have to be the bad guy sometimes too. And I'm gonna have to, do that if people try to push, because everybody always tries to see how far they can push.
They like to test the boundaries.
They do, they test the boundaries and see, and I mean, my first boundary, that I had to let people know here, my one absolute thing is don't be late to work. No, you work seven hours a day. I only work you, 12 to 7, 5 days a week. I give you 2 days off. Like, I am very respectful of your time. Be respectful of mine. Mm-hmm. Because if you can't be respectful of my time, then I don't think that you can be respectful of your client's time, i.e. the shop's clients. And therefore that will then impact the business and the business name, and I'm not willing to allow that. So, being on time is huge. Communication is huge. You can't come and go as you please. This is not that kind of a shop. This is not, booth rent. You're a commission artist. You need to be here the hours that I expect you to be here because the bills need to be paid. And, the boundaries that I have too is holding them accountable to where you can't just sit here all day and not work for your appointments. This isn't a walk-in shop. Yeah. We're still being established. I took on a lot of artists that either A, aren't from here, they don't have a, clientele from here, and I have to teach them how to go out and get clients and how to keep their books filled. Mm-hmm. So that we can keep the doors open. Because
so how do you do that? Like, how are you building clientele from ground zero, basically?
A lot of the things that I learned at the last shop, obviously doing flash promotions. We're doing the Cinco de Mayo Taco Tuesday thing to try to bring people in. It's really getting
that tacos and tattoos thing. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you guys come here for that.
Yeah, tattoos, tacos. It was just perfect that it landed on a Tuesday, because I came up with that at the last shop. We did Tuesdays when we first opened. We did $40 palm-sized tattoos. And it was really, that's what you have to do. You have to cut your throat in the beginning. I'm sorry. You cannot have a big ego, no matter how long. And I have that, right? I have some very experienced artists here, and they're like, I'm like, I understand how long you've been doing this, but the fact is you've been doing this long and you're not booked out.
Where's your
so that's the problem, yeah. Right? Is you may have been doing this for a long time, but you obviously haven't figured out how to keep a solid booking, mm-hmm. And that's where the problem lies. You have to humble yourself, and you're going to have to take some pay cuts, because the point is you have to build your portfolio. When you become an appointment-only artist, you can charge whatever you want,
right? And
they'll pay it.
Absolutely.
Because you have shown your worth to have built your clientele. So, that's a boundary that I have to teach them of, like, look, just bring it down. This is not a beach shop where they just come flooding in. This is not a tourist shop. These people live here. I focus on locals. I want business all year round, okay? I want to be steady.
That's fair. I'm the same way with my photography business specifically. It was rough this past year. But I haven't established with the locals. I have like all the, mm-hmm. the visitors, but
right.
Locals I'm still building with, and that's more my fault because I'm just not networking the way I should be, which I'm working on.
Right, and that's what it is consistent. It's a lot of work. Mm-hmm. It really is. It took at least 2 years for the last shop, but I told myself too, with the last shop when it was opened, we came from California. We didn't know anybody here. Nobody. So the fact that we were able to get it as successful as we did by knowing nobody, established a reputation over the last 10 years. I do have a following, I do have people that know me, and I wanna bring them here and introduce them to a new team that I have a lot of faith in. I put a lot of faith in them, I believe in them, I believe they're good people. I believe I've learned my lessons of not reading the wrong people. And I don't plan on going anywhere. This can't be taken from me. This isn't we're not gonna have a take two.
This time.
Yeah, I don't want people to be like, oh my god, what if she loses this one? That's not gonna happen. I have way too much determination. I have way too much determination, and like we talked about in the beginning, failure has never been an option my entire life. I won't fail.
It's admirable. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, thanks.
Glad you're here. It's a beautiful shop too.
Thank you.
It's so peaceful here, and you really do have a lot of great artists in here. They're very underrated in my opinion, but.
Right, yeah, no, that's what I need people to see is like, and they've stayed, hidden in the shops that they were in locally or in other places where they moved from, and that's what I mean, like they need to come in, because you can see art all day long. There's 40 something shops in this county, so if you're just looking at art, you can find it anywhere.
Yeah.
But personality matters, and I like.
Human connection matters.
Yeah, and I'm the type of person that when a client comes in and they want a piece, I'm gonna read them, and I will place that person with the right artist for their vibe before I place them for the piece. Because to me, vibe is way more important. You have to be comfortable with who you're sitting with, or it's gonna be a very uncomfortable whole thing, you know what I mean? If it's like, you and I are, if we're really good friends, I'm gonna wanna hang out with you and we're gonna talk and we're gonna have a good time. If you're a complete stranger and your beliefs are way over here and my beliefs are way over here, it's going to lead to some tension.
Right.
When you're not here for tension, the artist doesn't wanna feel tension while doing something permanent on your body, and you don't wanna feel tension when you came in here for tension release. You know what I mean? So the vibe is the biggest, it is the key component, it's
so
the secret. It is the secret.
That's how I ended up with Vic actually. I remember I was seeing her coming up at the time as a new artist, and she was posting in groups, and something about her it drew me to her. And then I started doing like consultations with like different pieces, like she's done my dragon, she's done my Medusa. She heard part of my story, and the vibe from her story, my story, and we just matched, we clicked,
Right.
you know what I mean?
There's similarities, there's something you can talk about, you can have that great
And
bond.
I'd never had an experience like that with a tattoo artist, especially being female, because females, I'm a little closed off too as well.
Right.
Just because, girl things, drama.
They're always jealous.
Yeah, there's always something.
Dramatic, yes.
But I did not
I've always been a guy's girl myself.
Same.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I did not have that vibe with her, and that's where I was like, okay, you are my artist. And then I've been with her ever since.
Yeah,
I
love
followed her from her last shop to here, and she told me it was a great environment here. So I was like, all right, I'll come in. I'll work with you guys. So what's been your proudest moment since opening your shop here?
Proudest moment. Opening the doors after literally 48 hours. We got the keys on December 1st, and we had this shop up and running and ready to go by the 3rd. And
Wow,
it was
that's crazy.
Dang,
you were ready.
Ready. We're so ready. I mean, I spent the entire month of November. I took it off and got all the supplies ready, everything ordered. It was all in my garage, in boxes still, so I was ready to rock and roll. But the fact that everybody jumped on and helped, there was no, the first shop, me and my ex, we basically did it alone, and people didn't come in until it was open and they thought it was safe. That should have been the first red flag, honestly.
Yeah.
This one, when I said, this is what I need to do, they volunteered, they came in. Even one of the artists who wasn't even supposed to start until the 12th, she came over and helped get the shop open before everyone was actually starting here. So that was a huge, that felt so good. And I was like, oh, this is gonna be great. Like, I actually have a supportive team that wants to be here, that believes in the brand, that believes in what we're doing. And that makes all the difference in the world too. You know what I mean? They can go to any other shop, but I wanna make sure they wanna be here, because that, like I said, that's when the poison starts. If they don't wanna be here, it's really easy to start that drama, that poison, and then it's just not gonna happen.
Yeah, it can go down very quickly.
Very quickly, absolutely.
So I've been looking at these angel wings here, and I gotta ask, one, where did you get them from, and what is the meaning behind it, and why did you place it the way you did?
So the crazy thing, got them from Mollywood in Dothan. If you haven't been there, it is an amazing furniture shop. Like it's huge warehouse. She's an amazing lady that owns it, and she just has the coolest taste in furniture. And we were there looking for some pieces for the shop because I really didn't want. Some of the stuff I got off of Amazon, but I wanted it to be different. You know, I wanted it to be cool and antique. That's kind of my vibe. Yeah, we were walking around and I looked over and these were wrapped in plastic. They hadn't even been opened yet. And I was like, is this an angel wing? Because I'd already come up with the name months, a year ago. I started Divinely Inked as my own personal brand a year ago. So that was going to be my shop name no matter what. So, but the wings came with the Divinely, obviously. My immediate thought was angel wings. Because thinking of, divine protection, divine intervention, all of that kind of stuff. And that's how
Protective angels, if you're into that.
Yeah, yeah, protective angels, that's spiritual stuff, right? And that's why I stuck with it. And the reason I put them on the wall there, I wanted it to be the first thing that they saw when they walked in.
That's the intention of the shop. Okay.
That's the intention of the shop, that they walk in, they see those. Originally I was going to have it say Divinely Inked across the top. But with the plants that we have, the nature vibe, which Orange Crystal does that, and I love it. I'm like, turn it into a jungle in here, because to me that also brings peace. It brings life, right?
Clean air energy too.
Clean air, they're alive, and that's why I left it with the missing bricks as well, almost like the wings were coming through the brick wall, and then that's supposed to be our halo, a little golden plant circle
almost
thing
like
there.
on your book, how the wings are coming through. Okay.
Yeah, it's like breaking through, and it's a symbolism, obviously, of a lot of things. A lot of things that I do are symbolism. They're, what's that word? Here goes my brain having a problem. Subliminal messages. When people see things, that's the vibe thing, right? And if the person, just like you, when you came in, you felt that vibe, people are going to feel it as well if they're in the right spot, if they're in the right mindset or want to be. And that's the kind of people I'm trying to attract as well, not just with the artists, but with clients. Because you don't want those bad clients. There's bad clients out there too. There really is.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not interested. There's other shops. It's not about the money. It's never been about the money. It's about the art. It is about the family that you build, and the trust that goes
Please
behind
don't be
it.
scamming us small businesses.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad clients, I know you had a recent situation.
Oh, brother, yeah,
But we don't gotta get into full details on
yeah.
that, just 'cause legalities.
Right, it was a little dramatic and immature, and yeah, completely not good for that person,
Yeah.
because I do know my rights.
Right.
I happen to be pretty smart.
Right, I feel like it'll blow over, like they can keep things up all they want, but it'll blow over quickly.
It don't affect me.
And I feel like you had a lot of people backing you up anyway, so.
Yeah, it's a small town, it really
Yeah.
is, and you gotta be careful who you try to burn or who you try to mess with, because if you have the right backing and you know the right people, and you have done it the right way, they will be protective of you.
Oh, yeah.
You don't have to do anything, and this person isn't gonna hurt me or my business in any way, shape, or form. I won't allow it. It doesn't bother me how they feel. I know the truth. They know the truth.
Right.
And the witnesses know the truth too. So.
Yeah, I know the locals back me up immediately. Anytime I have an issue, because all of my issues always come with visitors, unfortunately.
Well,
the locals are right there to back me up every time. Some people have told me you have like a little mermaid cult. No, I do not.
Oh my God.
Thank you. I guess I'll take that as a compliment.
Right. Yeah. Oh
But
gosh.
like just it's
No,
not a
that's
cult.
your supporters, and,
Yeah.
and that's what we live here. We are locals, and we love our locals, and our
Anyone-
locals is what matters. So if you're traveling from somewhere else, I sure come on over and visit, but do it with respect.
Absolutely.
If not, just stay home, because I'm sure you wouldn't want us coming to your town and causing a ruckus because it's disrespectful. So why do you think it's okay to come here? This is not what we're here for. This is have vacation, enjoy the beautiful beaches, have respect, and go back home.
And then we'll be fine. Everybody's fine.
That's
Everything's good.
You're in the South. Be careful.
Right. And And if you're from the north, just be cautious, cause they got opinions.
Oh, yeah.
But, you know,
It's
I
just-
don't pay attention to that personally, cause I'm from the south, but I lived in the north and then came back down south, so I'm like, I got opinions on both
Right.
sides.
I think maybe a lot of it being from California, the West Coast, it's brutal. So, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
you've gotta be on point at all. You're ready to just walk through a grocery store and possibly get into a fight because people are very opinionated over there. And maybe that's why I am the way I am, where I'm just like, oh, you're not gonna hurt my feelings.
Right.
You're really not gonna hurt my feelings, you're not gonna hurt my business, you're not gonna have any power over me. That's that bully shit that I won't tolerate.
Yeah.
Like, I won't give you that power.
Yeah, I feel like people shit on others from California really quick too before they even get a chance to know most of you.
Yeah, and I mean, well, you know, I'm one of those where, like I said, I've been here for 10 years. I made it, stayed for Hurricane Michael. I feel like I've earned my place here. But, like, and I knew when California started moving here, and I was actually terrified of it. I mean, I left California for a reason. The state is beautiful.
Right.
The politics are shit. The people are shit. It's shit. I'm sorry, it really is. I was born there. Trust me, it's shit. I ran. And when people came, I worried. And when they came in groups, because they will bring their very strong opinions and their liberal crap
Views.
that is just doesn't have a home here, because this is actually where you get the southern hospitality and the sweet people. Well, these people are hostile. And if you're living constantly in hostility, it spreads like a disease. And then it started happening here. I was going to the store, people were angry, and I was like, oh God, here we go. This is like a flashback. This is like a flashback from hell. Okay? Don't bring it over here. I came here for peace.
Yeah, I've been
really
told
did.
before, the ones that have come here to cause those type of issues, some of the people have called them like the vortex of evil
Oh, yeah. No, it's
that
no
it's
joke.
created.
It used to be amazing, and over time, you know, 10 years ago when I left, it was bad, and it is 10 times worse now. I have.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, I have family up in northern California. It's my stepdad's family. They own like their smallest ranch is 10,000 acres.
Wow, in California?
Yeah, up in is it Mount Shasta?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that area.
You got some rich family up in there. That is some money, okay? Nobody
That's
has
their
that
small
kind of
farm.
land.
Yeah, my mom was saying, I don't
Nobody
even know
has
what size
land.
their big farm is, but like, I was like, man, you guys are set. We're good.
Are they growing weed?
Not that I'm aware of,
No.
but I haven't really talked to them in a long time, cause me and my mom don't really like get along that well. Like, we're getting better now, but, you know, it's still rough. I get along with my stepdad more than I do my mom, actually. It's kinda funny, but I haven't had the opportunity to like sit down with his family and like, you know, figure out what exactly they do. But I do know that they have themselves set up very well. Like,
Yeah,
all of them are good the rest of their lives.
Yeah, that's unheard of. I've never heard of anybody owning that much land in the state of California. Like, that's a big thing. You don't buy a house and get land in California. You buy a house on a lot if you're lucky. So
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Yeah, they're like lifetimers.
Yeah, oh yeah, I wouldn't leave if I had
So
that.
they bought it when it was super cheap.
I guess so. Smart, lucky, and
Right.
smart. Good timing.
And up in the mountains area too, which is crazy as well.
That's where I'm from, is the mountain area of Northern California. It's
Okay.
absolutely stunning. Southern California, that's a different, they should just separate, it's a different state, those are different people.
I hear that a lot.
Different people. They're not the same, but it's same Florida, right? So Northern Florida down like Miami area, two completely different mindsets. It's the same.
Yeah, I've got a friend from SoCal, and I was telling her about my stepdad's family. She's like, "Oh yeah, that's two very different vibes from each other."
Completely polar opposite. Yeah.
So where do you see your shop in the next 5 years?
Hopefully extremely successful. I mean, that's the thing, is just maintaining success. Honestly, I have no what's the word? I don't want to be like.
What's keeping you motivated for this?
Retirement.
Retirement, that's fair.
Honestly, I should have already been retired with my last job, but my ex just couldn't stop spending the money. You know, I should have been retired. So I'm starting all over at 46, right? And that's.
Do you feel like he was like addicted to the money almost?
Oh, absolutely. That was his entire motivation, was the money and the image of, you know, 4,000 pairs of shoes and all the best stuff, and rubbed it in people's faces constantly, and it was embarrassing. It was extremely
see a couple
embarrassing.
shops do that around here.
Yeah, it's
I'm not gonna name them, but I
yeah.
see that.
Oh yeah, it's embarrassing because for one, it's like, why do you flaunt what you can afford? And to me,
What
it's
can you do
not
for the community
necessary.
instead?
Correct. Correct. And that's exactly what it is. How do you give back? That's who I am. That's the type of person that I am. It's like I said earlier, it's not about the money for me. It really is. Yes, I do want to retire, so I do want it to become successful to where I can step out and live my life when the time comes.
And know that the shop can run itself too with the
Yes.
solid employment that you have.
Yeah, that I'm building something that will last without me in it every single day. Because that is another thing with this industry, you know, independent contractors, there is no retirement, 401k, medical insurance. You really need to be smart with your money.
Absolutely,
You really do.
especially nowadays.
And like I said, it can come in waves where there's a lot or there's none. And if you aren't good at money management and you can't control your impulses, there comes a time where you get too old, you're not going to be able to tattoo forever. It's not going to happen. And then, have you thought about what you're going to do? Because I have. Because I'm always
about, like,
thinking
the
about
physical effects too, because you would have like what, carpal tunnel,
carpal
things like
tunnel,
that.
back problems, you know,
You don't think about these
arthritis.
things.
Yeah, and just plain tired. You know, and the point of life, in my opinion, I hate the way it's set up here because I feel like we work our whole lives to retire, right? And then by the time we're allowed to retire, we're too old to go do anything.
Yep.
I don't want
And
that to
a lot of them can't even retire because we get screwed by certain things.
My motivation is going through a drive-through at McDonald's or Burger King and seeing a 70-year-old woman as a cashier.
No.
Absolutely not. That will not be me.
It breaks my heart when I see it.
Yeah, and it's people that I feel made bad choices in their life. They really did. They made some bad choices. Maybe not. Some of them probably had bad life things happen, and the motivation wasn't there to do better. The motivation just wasn't there to make more money. I have that motivation because, like I said, failure's not an option.
Right.
I have a bar that I need to get to, and I've always maintained that bar, and I don't ever plan on dropping that, especially the older I get, the wiser I get. Just trying to figure out a way where I can finally rest because I'm tired. I am so tired.
Mentally, physically,
Yeah.
it's exhausting.
Yeah. Like I said, 46, I feel like I'm 86 most of the time, and I just push through it.
Well, you've done a great job leading up to now.
Thank you.
And if you guys read her book, you will see what I mean by that. Speaking of your book, let's reiterate, what inspired you to write Perception? And was there a specific moment or experience that sparked it?
I have actually wanted to write my biography, which this isn't really, it is but it isn't my biography, right? I always wanted to write my biography because I have had a eventful life, to say the least. I have been through so many things in my life, and it just felt like it just never ended, right? And I always wanted to put that out there to educate people, to help people. But with this last event and basically feeling lost and broken, I just one day was like, I'm gonna finally do it. I'm gonna finally try. I'm gonna finally try to do it. I didn't realize in the healing portion of all of this how much I was carrying, and that I carried all of this with me, even though I was very open and honest with people throughout my life, what I had been through. So not for sympathy, it was never for sympathy, it was so that they understood who I was.
I'm the same way.
Yeah.
I do that. I'll meet somebody and I'll just hit them with it.
Me too, and I realize now, looking back, some people, why they had this weird look like, why would you just, and some people didn't believe it. They're like, why would you just so casually say that? Because I've accepted it, and it's,
it helps them understand you and who you are, how you see things. Like, it affects everything.
it does, it affects everything, and it also, are we even the same people? Should we even start being friends?
Right.
Really, do you wanna be my friend? Because if not, then I need to go find another
Move
friend.
along.
Yeah, move along,
Yeah.
because you're either gonna be my friend or you're gonna be my enemy, and I don't like enemies. I don't wanna be enemies with people, there's no reason for it. I wanna live a peaceful life. But the reason, I just totally lost my train of thought. I really just wanted to get it off my shoulders and out, and it was extremely freeing when I did it. When I was done, to put it in a book, I could finally set it down. I finally let it go. I wasn't holding it anymore. And it was really cool. Just
That's awesome.
to finally happen after 30 years of thinking about it.
Yeah, like I told you before, I have like really bad ADHD. Mine would have to be a series of like just different things.
Yes, and it will definitely be a series. That is a very short version of things that happen. It's very minimal.
Very brief, yeah.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
That's nothing, to be honest. Those things that are mentioned in there are some
like the starting
events.
of things.
Yes. And I've already started my second book, actually.
That's awesome. I'm gonna need that.
To spring off of things and elaborate some more in detail of other things.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So if you had to describe your book in one sentence that hits emotionally for someone, what would that be?
Be the change you wish to see. I have it tattooed on my leg.
Oh, you do, huh?
I do.
She does, guys. I can't point the camera down there, but
I live by that, and that's, you can't be out there in life being like, I wish things were this way, I wish things were this way, if you're not that way. So if you want to see life a certain way, you also need to practice it. So
absolutely.
Be the change you wish to see.
That's beautiful. I know mine I have tattooed on me. It's my demons tried to drown me, but they didn't realize I could breathe underwater, and it goes with my mermaid brand.
Yeah.
I actually had Zach from Revolution. He did it for me.
Awesome.
He's
Great
a
artist.
meaningful little piece. He's a fantastic artist.
Yep.
I would love to have him on my podcast sometime, but he's so busy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the title of your book, Perception, the power they took and you reclaimed. That's a very powerful meaning. So what does it mean to you on a personal level?
I think on a personal level for me it was, I did allow, I allowed myself to be broken by people.
By broken people?
By broken people, yeah. I allowed myself to fall far this last time. And I allowed them to, basically they took my power. What I mean by, the power that they took was they took my healing, they took my voice, they took my identity really, because they, left me when I needed them the most. And it hurt, to know that I poured so much love, time, effort, and that there was never anything, those feelings were never reciprocated, right? I was the elephant in the room.
Isolated you too, correct?
Yes, yes. So I was completely isolated from the world. I was completely isolated from everything that I knew. And I realized basically what I had been doing was I have the power of healing, and I was giving that to them willingly, unknowingly but willingly, because I was spending all of my time, my energy, my efforts in healing them, making them better, being there for them. But I was never healing myself. I healed them first, and I never wanted to heal myself. I always looked at it as selfish. And so for the first time ever, I realized I gave them, if I can give them my power, I can get it back. Yeah, it was always mine. It was never theirs.
Despite the efforts.
Despite the efforts, it was lended and returned to sender. So I'm like, give it back. And so I needed to remind myself that I didn't lose anything. I didn't lose anything that wasn't meant to be lost. And you can't lose anything that isn't meant to be lost. So I just started talking to myself and counseling myself, because I can do that, and journaling, because I've journaled my whole entire life. That's another way I can write this book and know that it is accurate. That's why there's dates in there, because it is 100% accurate, because it's in my journals. So I have proof.
You got receipts.
I have receipts, because obviously, when you go through a lot of traumatic events, your memory, people don't talk about it, your memory goes, it's gone, and that was used against me a lot.
It changes the whole chemistry of your brain.
It does. It will rewire your entire brain. So those journals that I would read back through when I would have a really hard time to see how I have grown, where I came from, where I'm going, all that kind of stuff, it always reminded me, and I'm like, okay, and so I could see the signs within myself. I was teaching myself in these journals, and I didn't know it. I had no idea. I was just writing stuff down to be like, I'm mad, or I'm hurt. It there's always something like that, right? And sometimes it was, I had a great day. Very, very minimal. Those are very minimal in there, unfortunately. But it was, then I had positive things. I opened this shop, right? I opened the last shop. I raised 3 kids. I did all this. So those are those positive moments in my life where I look back and go, I went through this, and this, and I still came out on top. And I can heal myself. If I can heal them, I can heal myself.
Absolutely.
Yes.
So do you think perception shapes reality, or do you think reality shapes perception? Or a little bit of both. So I feel like a little bit of both would come into play when it comes to your story in particular.
It can, I guess. Yeah. I mean, reality is what we make it. Really. What is reality? Your reality is different from my reality. Is different from their reality. And perception and reality really kind of go hand in hand, to be honest with you. So yeah, I would say that they kind of mold each other, for sure.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
So when writing this book, was there anything that you felt forced you to confront parts of yourself that you didn't during the experiences?
Oh yeah. I was forced to face a lot of myself, and
A lot of like your habits that you had with letting the little naivety.
Yeah, it was really, I had to look at myself in the mirror, which I told myself I did that a lot, and I did. I would literally look at myself in the mirror and be like, you got this, you can do this, you're stronger than this, you can beat it. But I mean like not a physical mirror, I mean the mirror to your soul. And it did force me to look and take a few steps back and take accountability for my own actions, my own part that I played in all of this.